Based on that performance, I'd start packing my knives if I was you.
Everyone says Gordon Ramsay is ruthless on television, but on MasterChef, American restaurateur, winemaker, author, and television personality Joe Bastianich makes Ramsay look like a lovable, caring angel. Joe has become a household name for his role on the hit reality TV show. His signature persona has always been that of a cool, poker-faced restaurateur who could kill anyone with his acerbic and sometimes wounding comments. Once in a while, however, as if breaking out of character, he'd give the home chefs and their dishes a compliment. Maybe even two. Curious to know what these dishes are? Stay tuned.
Wow, this is like taking a trip to Italy.
Tracy's Truffled Halibut.
It's a dish that you could serve in a restaurant, no doubt.
MasterChef has been one of the most watched American reality TV shows for the past 8 years. It's the most intense culinary competition on Earth for talented home cooks. The prize? Cash, a cookbook contract, and of course, the coveted title of Master Chef. But before earning their place in history, the home cooks must endure heartbreak, fierce competition, time constraints, and 3 culinary judges who could be really generous with their praises and merciless at the same time. If you think Gordon Ramsay takes top prize for nasty, restaurateur Joe Bastianich takes second. There is no pleasing this guy, but once in a while, he quits the mean card and genuinely likes a dish. When he does, he isn't stingy with the praises either. Take Tracy's Truffled Halibut.
The fish looks like it's cooked very well. The sauce appears to be a little bit light.
What does the winemaker and author, who just happens to own 30 restaurants worldwide, think about it?
Actually, the fish is excellent.
Thank you.
Perfectly cooked, very well done.
Say what?
Her excellent fish, which was perfectly cooked and very well done, could very well be the MasterChef trophy. Earlier on, she botched her chances with cupcakes, but looks like this perfectly cooked fish is her ticket to the finals. Yippee! Profiteroles with lemon vanilla cream.
If that's a sign of what's to come, trust me, we're going to be in a great mood.
By now, the home chefs know that the key to enduring the long trek to the finals is to impress both Gordon and Joe. The Mystery Box Challenge for Season 2, Episode 5 had the home chefs preparing a dish using only Mystery Box ingredients. One home chef impressed the judges.
So the next dish is a dish that I think would certainly win the award for being the most restaurant ready. And that dish belongs to...
Christian.
Woo!
With Christian as the front runner, he was now in control of the elimination challenge. The theme?
Theme of today's elimination test is the cuisine of Europe.
Christian chose French cuisine. With 1 hour on the clock, how would these home cooks fare? French cooking is generally respected as the backbone of many cuisines in the Western world. The influence it has over so many cooking techniques is legendary. In fact, savory and sweet as the dishes may seem, it can be a little intimidating for beginners to learn. But one dish managed to catch Joe's sweet side.
The baking of the pastry itself is spot on. Petite success for a big Italian like you. Thank you.
Giuseppe Morisco's Profiteroles with lemon vanilla cream. His baking was spot on, and for a multi-awarded Italian restaurateur to praise a fellow Italian for excellent French cooking, well, that sounds like a winner to us.
That's how winning is done.
Frank's apple pie.
The apples are melting your mouth.
Good job.
Thank you.
Great job.
MasterChef contestants know that the words good job, excellent, and well done are compliments that are not taken lightly.
Good job. Really good job.
These simple words of positive feedback can spell the difference between getting to the next round or having to give up your apron. But when Joe Bastianich says,
You might have baked your way into the next phase of this competition, my friend.
then you might as well have won the gold. The pressure test for this episode is to bake an apple pie, a seemingly easy pastry that is all too easy to mess up. Apple pie is the most American of desserts. Stunning crust, immaculately firm, crisp base underneath, and delicious apples in the center. The perfect one offers a balance of sweet and tart, as well as apples that don't break down. To be honest, Frank's apple pie didn't look like much, but his creative twist of adding walnuts and pecans to the flour added so much flavor and character.
That looks beautiful.
Chef Gordon loved it. And not only that, he also thought that Frank's apple pie was...
It's absolutely delicious.
As for Joe, he thought that Frank's apple pie had a lot of...
It's got a lot of finesse.
Thai crab trio with Korean rice, crab cake, and salad.
This dish rises to the top. It's good.
When you're one of the lucky few plucked from 1,000 hopefuls, your confidence level goes up 100 notches. But then once in, you also know that the challenges won't be easy. With 2 seasons done, the 3rd season is no exception to the fierce competition and rivalry in the kitchen. Everyone is a talented home cook. Everyone wants a shot at earning the MasterChef title. And at one point or another, no one escapes the blistering tongues of Chef Ramsay and Joe. For this episode, Joe decided to break character with home cook Josh Marks. Josh Marks' Thai crab trio with curry and rice, crab cake, and salad looked like a winner. But was it?
I was thinking the whole time, I was like, I need to make the croquette spicy.
Yeah.
Joe found it quite spicy for his palate, but then...
Spicy good.
Okay, great.
Very bold, very spicy.
The dish rises to the top. Joe is quite tight-fisted with positive feedback, but who minds? Certainly not us, and certainly not Josh.
Finally!
Broccoli Rabe ravioli with Pecorino cream sauce.
I think that you have a lot to give, and I want to see you cook. I want to see you compete, so I'm a yes again.
You know how failure oftentimes leads to success? Well, that couldn't be more evident than the winner of Season 4's MasterChef, Luca Manfè. Luca fell short of making it to the final stages of Season 3.
For me, it's a no. I know you can do better.
But grit, determination, and the resolve to do even better catapulted him to MasterChef fortune and fame. Hold on, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Episode 2 of Season 4 was an episode to remember.
Chef Ramsay, you broke my heart, you broke my wife, my mother's heart.
We just love this guy. Imagine telling Gordon Ramsay to his face how he broke everyone's heart by not letting him into Season 3. Turns out, his broccoli Rabe ravioli with Pecorino cream sauce changed all of that. And when told that broccoli Rabe stuffed in pasta was risky, he simply said,
It is risky, but I studied all the components and tried to balance them together.
Joe was first to scrutinize Luca's dish, and Joe just gave Luca probably the best compliment of his life.
Had you won last year, we'd probably be partners in our restaurant already in New York.
Hello, partner.
That was enough to know that Joe actually liked his dish. And yes, Luca's win was well-deserved.
This is beyond anything I ever imagined for my life.
Eggs Benedict.
Muffin is crunchy. Everything is seasoned. Perfect.
MasterChef episodes would generally begin with a team challenge. To be honest, team challenges are a great way to get everyone's nerves on fire. It's time pressure, rivalry, and team building that could either make your fellow home chef a friend or a foe. The losing team, of course, takes the pressure test, another nerve-wracking challenge that drives even the most hardened home chefs to tears. Season 4, Episode 7's pressure test was a classic, Eggs Benedict. Eggs Benedict is a classic breakfast meal that looks effortless, but actually requires serious skill and precision. Natasha almost crumbled under Joe's blunt comments.
You thought you had this nailed?
I thought so.
You ready to go?
And at this point, Natasha, who was such a strong contender, seemed to have lost her chances with Joe. It also seemed that there was no way to please this guy. But then this happened.
Let's see. Wow.
Chrissy's Eggs Benedict were divine. Joe thought that the muffin was crunchy. Everything was seasoned just right and simply perfect. That one word from Joe was more than enough for these home chefs to keep fighting for the title.
Any parting words for Jessie?
She probably should have came in here with a helmet on.
I love your idle threats.
I literally am going to take this hot pan and smash it in her face.
Breakfast lasagna with artichoke heart salad.
This is using the ingredients, creating other products from the base ingredients, putting them together in an amazing dish. Great job.
As the episodes of every MasterChef season progress, the contestants simply want nothing more than a kind word from the judges, particularly Gordon Ramsay and Joe. Those little words can make or break their lifelong ambitions. And more often than not, they also spell the difference between giving an apron back and advancing to the next level. Did Joe take his nasty level down even just a tad? We think not. And we don't ever think he will. But just when we thought that nothing ever pleases this guy, this happened.
Wow.
That's great.
This is amazing.
Thank you.
Joe thought Elizabeth's lasagna was amazing. For Joe, the dish demonstrates great use of bechamel ingredients from other products. Oh, and Joe's praises didn't end there.
Have you been to Italy?
No, I have not.
This is like taking a trip to Italy.
Imagine restaurateur Joe, whose palate knows the best Italy has to offer, saying that. Well, somebody could have gone to MasterChef heaven just about now.
I'm in heaven.
Caramelle with creamy tomato and pork sauce.
These are really great. This is a perfect interpretation, making it your own.
Through MasterChef history, nothing gives home cooks so much anxiety as much as eggs and stuffed pasta. Joe is Italian, and if that doesn't make contestants shake in their aprons, we don't know what will. For the elimination test, the remaining home cooks were tasked to create Chef Ram's Caramelle.
I've never heard of Caramelle pasta.
The perfect Caramelle looks like little bonbons, twisted on the outside, filled with mozzarella, and finished with a simple tomato sauce. Who made it to Joe's special list?
Jamie.
That moment when Joe took his first bite could really send shivers down these home cooks' spines. Fortunately, Jamie clinched the perfect interpretation of the dish. Joe thought it was great. The addition of sausage made the sauce richer. To be honest, it was the perfect homage to Jamie's father, Michael. But the best compliment hadn't been said.
This is a dish I would be happy to also serve at my restaurant. Thank you very much, Jamie, because you really brought me a taste of Queens.
What did Joe just say? He'd be happy to serve it at his restaurant? That's just as great as winning the MasterChef title. Way to go, Jamie.
That was the greatest moment of my life, guys. That was the greatest moment of my life.
Bowen's Pappardelle.
Oh, the filling is very good. The Swiss chard tastes nice.
Standing in front of judges whom are culinary geniuses in their own right can be one of the most harrowing experiences in a home cook's career. Having your dish poked, prodded, judged, and rejected after an hour of intense pressure is certainly not for the faint-hearted. If you've gone through Chef Ramsay's sarcastic comments and Joe's cynical remarks, but managed to emerge in one piece, you got some kind of courage.
I am brave!
And I got this! I am brave!
Here we certainly have the most creative interpretation of pasta. You never, ever tried pasta before coming here?
Unfortunately, not.
Bowen, in particular, is one brave guy. The first in MasterChef history to not have tried pasta in his life. He was tiptoeing on raw nerves. Joe's raw nerves in particular. How can you not try pasta before joining the MasterChef competition? But Bowen's dishes would pull a surprise. 2 of his dishes did not make the cut with Joe. His third pasta dish, however, saved him.
They're excellent.
Gordon and Aaron, on the other hand, felt that apart from the pasta, everything else was good and well seasoned. So, what was the verdict?
Bowen, your time, my friend, in this kitchen is not quite over.
Bowen's pasta saved him.
You saved me.
Farhan's halibut.
The cook on the fish, it is a triumph. That is on another level.
Does Joe run out of praises for any dish? Nope, we don't think so. Inside the Michelin star restaurateur's tough persona is someone who knows talent when he sees it. He knows great cuisine. He can distinguish dishes that could make or break a good restaurant. Naturally, his thoughts and opinions matter to all the home cooks on MasterChef. For this particular elimination challenge, the remaining contestants had been given just 45 minutes to make a dish with halibut they had just filleted. Whose halibut dish took home Joe's commendation?
This is the perfection of length of flavor. It's the kind of sauce that is so provocative to your palate because it fires every aspect of your taste buds.
For a minute there, we thought Joe would chop Farhan's head off. But this dish turned Joe into a poet. Who in the world describes sauce as provocative? The fish was also a triumph. Flaky, light, and on another level.
You are taking your ability and sensibility with spice and beginning to understand the basic fundamentals of cooking.
Thank you.
With those words coming from the toughest people to please, Farhan just moved closer than ever to clinching that MasterChef title.
Oh yeah!
We hope you liked the video. Are there any moments where Joe Bastianich loved the food on MasterChef that we missed? If you want to see more videos like this, click or tap that subscribe button, and in order to become a trusted Babble Topper, be sure to ding the bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Thanks for watching!